Okay, what's up, everyone? Swinging Bull here with PV Alerts, and welcome to another one of my earnings streams that I do every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Today, we got two companies reporting earnings. The first one, which is the bigger of the two, Nike. Nike's releasing earnings data today, a little after 4 o'clock, I believe. They had a nice day today. They closed the regular session at $62.56 a share, up almost 3% on the day. Of course, the indexes were all running today as well. SPY had a really good pre-market, basically gapped up, traded sideways, and then after the opening bell, basically ran for the rest of the day. Same thing with the triple Qs. Both of them are kind of pulling back a little bit here. We're officially in the after-hour session. They kind of ran into close, and there's some selling coming in. But back to Nike. Again, they closed the regular session almost 3% up for the day, 2.8% to be more exact. And the other stock that's reporting earnings, the other company, is CNXC Corporation. It's ticker symbol CNXC. They finished the regular session up almost 2%, 1.8%. And they closed the regular session at $55.17 a share. So let's just take a quick look about their forecasts and everything like that. So Nike is supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, so about another 14 minutes. Their forecast EPS is 0.12, and their forecast revenue is 10.67 billion. And they were trading just above their anchored VWAP going into the earnings. Anchored VWAP's around $60 a share. And again, they closed the regular session at 62.56, so just above their anchored VWAP. So we'll get their earnings data at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. And the other one, CNXC, which is CNXC Corporation, they're supposed to report at 4:10 p.m. Eastern, so we probably get that one before Nike. And their forecast EPS, $2.50 a share. And their forecast revenue, $2.3 billion. And CNXC, they were also trading just above their anchored VWAP going into earnings. Anchored VWAP's around $54 a share. So let's go back to the sticks real quick. We got a little bit of time to burn going into the earnings. Nike had a PE of 29, EPS nice and positive at 3.0. They also pay a 2.5% dividend, according to Webull. So nice little cherry on top there. M. Sander on YouTube, what do you think about Nike? Yeah, I mean, I like the company. Just going over a little bit of the fundamentals and financials right now. Everything looks pretty good, positive. Income statement. Obviously, Nike's a profitable company. Past 3 earnings in a row, though, their year-over-year numbers were down a bit. But nonetheless, they are a profitable company. Balance sheet, debt to asset 62%. So that's pretty good. As long as it's below 100%, I'm usually okay with that. And as of the end of February this year, they reported 10.39 billion in cash and short-term investments, basically cash and equivalents. So sitting on a lot of cash. Yeah, I mean, I like Nike. Looking at the weekly chart, they've obviously been downtrending for a while. Had a couple pops here and there, but overall they've been downtrending for a few years now. Actually, I mean, if you look at the bigger picture, they peaked out around 169 and some change per share. I was back at the end of 2021. They've basically been downtrending ever since. They did break out of the downtrend momentarily in 2022 going into 2023, and they've had some couple pops here and there since then, but overall just kind of making lower highs and lower lows. So let's see if Nike can get out of their funk. Let's go to daily chart real quick. So there was a gap back here from March of 2025, which did get filled in May, and they're kind of just sitting here in the low 60s right now. There are a few other gaps on the daily chart that have not been filled. So there's another gap from that puts it back into the low 70s, and you can just kind of scroll out and zoom over. They got another gap in the mid 80s that hasn't been filled yet, and looks like this gap here from June of 2024 basically got filled. There was a little bit left to fill there, but got some gaps on the upside. I definitely think it has some upside if they get a positive reaction to the earnings data. So we should get the data here in about 5 or 10 more minutes. And then as soon as I get EPS and revenue and any guidance, I'll definitely share that with everybody. M Center says, is it not undervalued? Yeah, I mean, I think it's, it's definitely down quite a bit from all-time highs. And we look at the monthly and the weekly chart again. I mean, it's kind of bounced recently in the low 50s, kind of where it was trading sideways a little bit back in 2017. So yes, I mean, it literally just hit 2017 levels. So definitely, I think there's some upside here if they get a positive reaction to the earnings data. So let me just go over here to Nike. Yeah, I mean, financials are not that great. Yeah, I understand that. They could be better, right? So I definitely agree with that. CNXC is supposed to report before Nike, and their PE ratio positive at 11.2, EPS $4. They also pay a dividend at 2.4%, and sitting on a free float of 54 million. Financials, CNXC, they are a net profitable company. They do have positive net income. Past 2 quarters had some decent year-over-year numbers. But yeah, back over to Nike, like I was saying, their year-over-year numbers aren't too good. So definitely their financials could be better. So I agree with M. Sander over there on YouTube. So CNXC, let's see, that the asset 66%. They got about 308 million in cash and equivalents. So let's see what their earnings reactions is going to be to their EPS revenue and any guidance. Like I said, I think CNXC is going to report first, and then Nike should follow soon after. So about another 3 more minutes for Nike. Let's see here. Luke on YouTube, kind of nervous about Nike. Got 200 shares. Okay. Well, I mean, I know it's a little too late now, but one thing maybe you could have done to maybe hedge the downside a little bit is maybe sell a few covered calls or something like that. That could help. Or maybe you could have done a put debit spread. I actually like using put debit spreads for my hedges because it doesn't tie up a lot of capital, and if you position the strikes right, you can still get a triple-digit return on those. Okay, cool, Luke. Yeah, that sounds good. So you sold the covered calls and 5.2% premium. That sounds pretty good. So it looks like you do got some downside protection there. Obviously, it doesn't. Okay, you did the 60 call for June 27th, and then bought a 63 call for 6/27 just in case. Yeah, and that 63 call that you bought. If you didn't buy that, let's just say since you did bought it, now you can participate in some of the upside if there is a positive reaction. So I like what you did there, Luke. Good management there, and you didn't just sit on the sidelines, right? There's definitely ways we can manage our positions, and looks like you used some of those management techniques to help protect yourself a little bit. So good deal there. Definitely rooting for the Bulls on this one. Like I said, Nike's been downtrending overall for a while, and it's been a while. It kind of looks like it's time for them to maybe catch a bid. I don't think expectations are high for them because they have been downtrending for so long. But let's see what the reaction is going to be. It's almost 4:10 p.m. Eastern. That's when CNXC is supposed to report. So like I said, we'll probably get that reaction first, and then according to earnings whispers, Nike's going to report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. So about another 5 more minutes on Nike, and we'll get their reaction. I have my screen pulled up over here on the right. So when we do get the data, I'll definitely be sharing that with everybody. So now it's 410. I'm going to go to the 1 minute chart on these, just because, you know, that's kind of the only data we got to work with while we await the earnings data. So let's see, CNXC, they had 847,000 volume today. And let me look at some other things here. Average volume over 3 months is, the average volume over 3 months, 847,000. Volume came in today, 1.44 million. So looks like CNXC's data is probably out. They are getting an initial positive reaction. Let's give it a few minutes. Sometimes these initial moves aren't the real move. So I'll let that kind of sit there for a minute. Let's see here. Emery on YouTube. Need to pump like 10% on Nike. That would be nice. I mean, it's like a $6 move, right? So we'll see if they can do that or not. CNXC. Just a couple things about CNXC. 4% annual revenue growth. Okay, see, this is why I like to wait on the price action, because that first move wicked up to almost 58 bucks a share. Then it wicked down to 55. It's kind of still waiting to pick a direction here. So that's why we like to sit on these for a few minutes after the data comes out, because a lot of times that initial move sometimes is not the real move, right? Let's see, CNXC, also a couple things about them. Let's see, no dilution and holding steady at 64 million shares, 2% dividend yield, 10x PE ratio. So just some data on them, but let's see, now they're back down here to 54. So it's just kind of wicking up and down. Let's see if this is the correct reaction or not. Let me go. We're going to switch over to Nike here in just a few minutes. They're supposed to report in about 3 more minutes. They should be reporting. So I know most people are here for Nike, so we'll kind of focus on that a little bit more. Let me just get some more info from my other monitor. Give me 1 sec here. Almost 4:13 p.m. Eastern, so just a few more minutes on Nike. Again, I think CNXC's data is out. Had an initial positive reaction, but now it's down a little bit, 2.7% right now in after hours. And wow, we got over 1,000 people tuning in. Welcome everyone. My name is Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I do these earnings streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Kind of just pick out 2 of the more popular tickers for each day. And we'll come on here, watch the earnings reactions, go over the EPS and revenue data and any guidance I can get, and then kind of look at some potential levels, support and resistance levels for the remainder of after hours, that kind of thing. Again, for Nike, let's see here. The expected revenue, again, 10.7 billion. And the expected EPS, 13.13. Let's see here. The implied move on Nike is about $4 and some change. So almost 7%, like 6.6%. That's the implied move for Nike's earnings. So let's see, we just got another few more minutes. Probably just 1 more minute. We should get the Nike reaction. Take a look at a few other things here. Nike's coming off of 4 back-to-back negative earnings reactions. ISO on Twitter said, thanks for your live. Yeah, no worries. E10 on Twitter, bet on Nike puts for today. Okay, let's see if that works out. Again, I like doing debit spreads for the earnings. That way you can participate with the at the money or even in the money strikes without needing all the capital. That's the main reason why I like debit spreads for my earnings plays. Because, you know, of course, I mean, just look at the option chain on Nike. Let's say you put a 1 week at time on it. You know, the prices of the strikes that are at the money or in the money. Let's say you were bullish. I mean, the 63 call is going for like $260. Last sale was $252. If you didn't want to put that much capital up, you could easily just do a call debit spread. So basically, you would buy to open the 63 strike, let's just take the ask, the prices on the ask. You'd buy to open the 63 strike for $2.60, $260. So that would be a debit. But then you would sell to open the 64 strike and get a credit of $210. So that $1 wide spread there would only cost you $50. And so that's how you can participate in the strikes that are at the money or even in the money without needing all the capital. Does it cap your upside? Yeah, it caps your upside, but you could still get a triple digit return. So in this call debit spread example, you buy to open the 63, sell to open the 64. It would cost you $50, but that spread's worth $100, so you could double your money, 100% return right there on that call debit spread. So of course you could do multiple spreads on it, but just a little tip out there for everyone on how to reduce buying power needed to be able to participate in the strikes that are at the money or in the money. You wouldn't need as much buying power as far as buying the naked option by itself. So I hope that kind of helps everyone there. A little tip. All right, let's go back to the sticks. Nike's data looks like it's out. It's 4:16 p.m. Eastern. Kind of got some wick action going on here, so data is still being digested by investors, but it is getting a negative reaction. Same thing happened with Nike. It wicked up to 64.29 was the initial reaction upwards, and then it just reversed the other way. Usually you can tell when the initial reactions aren't the real moves because it'll reverse pretty quickly after that initial reaction. So let's give it a moment to marinate and see where the price settles. It's closed the regular session at $62.56 and sitting here in after hours down around 2%, about $1 a share. So let me go back over here and get the EPS and revenue for everyone. And I'll also check on CNXC because their data's out. Let me see if I can get them first, but then I'll jump over to Nike real quick. Okay, CNXC. Let's take a look here. Revenue was up 1.5% year on year. Okay, EPS was 63, so that's down compared to the prior year second quarter was 98. Okay, Nike's still kind of ping-ponging. Let's give it a second. It just wicked up again to 63.67. And it kind of fell back down, so there's still a little battle going on right now. A little bit of indecision. While we're waiting for Nike to kind of pan out, I'll just go over CNXC just real quick. A couple notes from the president and CEO of CNXC. And just so everyone knows, CNXC, they're a professional and commercial services, global technology and services company. They provide end-to-end capabilities, including customer experience, process optimization, technology innovation, front and back office automation, analytics, and business transformation. So that's just give you an idea of what kind of business CNXC is. We're going to jump over to Nike here in just 1 minute, but Chris Caldwell is the CEO of Concentrix. He says in the second quarter, we continue to outperform expectations on revenue growth despite some mid-quarter volatility. As we look ahead to the second half, we are seeing an accelerated pace of activity with both existing and new clients and improving margin. Further, our AI there's the word, right? AI. Further, our AI investments are on pace to be accretive to the business by year-end as planned. With ongoing momentum for our different tech-led solutions, we expect continued growth for the remainder of the year. Okay, so that's CNXC. They're kind of just sitting here flat in after hours. I mean, they're in after hours trading at 54 a share, closed regular session at 55.13. So just they're down a little bit, but not much. Let me get a few other things here. And then we're going to jump over to Nike because it looks like Nike's gaining some ground. They are officially above where they closed at. Let me post this some of this data on CNXC first. All right, I'll put the I'm not sure if I'll be able to fit all this on one line, but I will try. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris on YouTube beat me to it. Okay, Nike just reported earnings. And let me just go here. Second quarter. Okay, it does look like I can put this. Chris, thanks for the engagement there, brother. I'm going to go ahead and post what he put because he put a solid comment there. So Nike just reported earnings, EPS of 0.14, beating expectations of 0.12. So nice green check mark there. Sales of 11.1 billion, beating expectations of 10.7 billion. Double beat for the apparel giant. Good quarter. Thank you, Chris, on YouTube for providing that info for everyone. Just saved me some time, so I really appreciate it. Let me see if I can get some notes from the CEO and see what he's going to say. And then, of course, I will let everyone know how to get to the actual earnings web call with the upper management. And then we'll kind of go from there. So a couple notes from the Nike CEO. This is from the transcript. Appreciate the info. While our financial results are in line with our expectations, they are not where we want them to be. Moving forward, we expect our business to improve. Okay, well, nice comment from the CEO there, I suppose. And let's just take a look at a few other things. I do think the Nike year over year and quarter over quarter numbers definitely have a lot of room to improve. But let me just let me post this little graphic here while we keep looking at the price action on the left. So just as Chris says on YouTube there, so the forecast for EPS 0.12, it came in at 0.14. So they beat EPS by 17%. That's a nice beat. Revenue forecast, again, was 10.7 billion. They just reported 11.09, basically 11.10. Beat by 4% on revenue, so double beat. So good stuff on the EPS and revenue beats. The EPS and revenue year over year, though, definitely room for improvement there. EPS down 86% year over year, revenue down 12% year over year. As far as quarter over quarter, EPS down 74% quarter. They're really getting killed on that EPS as far as year over year, quarter over quarter numbers. Nonetheless, they did beat expectations. So, I mean, there is some positivity there. And revenue down 2% quarter over quarter. So I just kind of wish this little area down here on the left of this graphic wish these numbers were a little bit better. But nonetheless, double beat. It does look like investors are somewhat taking it positive. Like I said, they closed the regular session at 62.56. They're basically, that's where they're trading at now. I mean, they're up a tiny bit. So especially when the data first came out, there was a little indecision there. It wicked up, then it wicked down, and now it's kind of at baseline. So still kind of waiting for it to pick a direction. Let's give it a few more minutes and see what happens. Back over to CNXC just for a minute. They are getting a negative reaction. They are down 7.5% in after hours. So they're down to $51 a share. That's down about $4 a share. So they closed the regular session just above 55 a share. So CNXC, if anyone was short on that, looks like that's probably going to work out. But we're just going to have to wait and see if this does start retracing back up or not. Kind of sloppy price action. I mean, overall, this stock kind of trades on low volume, but kind of spotty, sloppy price action. There's some gaps here on the 1 minute. So we'll see if more volume ends up coming in to kind of clean this up a little bit. Let me put this here. This might be, let's see. Okay. Very good, very good. We got a bunch of people going nuts on Twitter. Double beat, Nike stays winning. I mean, I wish I could share in the enthusiasm, but the price action it's not really reflecting enthusiasm. It's just kind of flat. Hopefully it just doesn't turn into a nothing burger, but on the same token, as far as the Nike Bulls go, being flat is not a bad thing, right? Because at least it's not selling off. Let me go back down here just a little bit. So a couple notes from the Nike CEO and president. That guy's name is Elliott Hill. So while our financial results are in line with expectations, okay, so we already went over that a little bit. Moving forward, we expect our business to improve as a result of the progress we're making through our Win Now actions. That was said by Elliott Hill, president CEO of Nike. He also says, as we enter a new fiscal year, we are turning the page, and the next step is aligning our teams to lead with sport through what we are calling the sport offense. This will accelerate our win now actions to reposition our business for future growth. All right, those are pretty good comments. The sport offense realignment will focus on driving distinction within key sports, building a complete product portfolio, creating stories to inspire and connect with customers, and elevating and growing the entire marketplace. Just a here's a few notes from the Chief Financial Officer, the CFO. Fourth quarter reflected the largest financial impact from our win now actions, and we expect the headwinds to moderate from here. That was said by Matthew Friend. That's his name, Matthew Friend. He's the Vice President and CFO. He also says, I am confident in our ability to navigate through this current dynamic and uncertain environment by focusing on what we can control. It's a good move. And executing our win now actions. They're really big on this win now action stuff. So we'll see here. Lauren Mile on Kick. How are you doing? Good to see you. Glad you, yes, I do see the chat. Pookie's Revenge. Yeah, that's my name's the Swinging Bull. Pookie's Revenge is one of my colleagues over here in PB Alerts. So that's the Kick account I'm using right now. But yeah, if you know Pookie, that's great. But yeah, I can definitely see your comments and welcome to the show. A little over 1,200 people tuning in here. Let me post a few other things. Give me 1 second here. I want to go back to CNXC just for a moment. And then I'm going to show everyone how to get to the Nike earnings web call with the CEO and CFO and all that beautiful stuff. So, okay, let me post this here. Now CNXC did pull a net income, a positive net income, and they did raise full year growth outlook despite mid-quarter volatility. Let's see if I can fit all this on one post here. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to post this real quick. This is the data from CNXC. This is Q2 2025 results. They are down in after hours. They're actually down 9% in after hours. So a little typo there with the 1.8% down. But EPS, $2.70, revenue $2.4 billion. So they missed. Let me see. They missed EPS. They did beat revenue, and they did pull a positive net income. And they did raise the full year growth outlook. However, investors aren't taking it positively. I think that the miss on EPS was kind of a big deal. So they are down almost 10%. They're down about $5.45 a share, CNXC. Back over to Nike. We'll go here. And let me repost their EPS and revenue for everyone. As far as CNXC, just want to look at the weekly chart real quick. Yeah, this is another one that's been downtrending for since 2022, making higher lows and higher highs. I'd be looking at now. This is the weekly chart here, and it's trading right at $50 now in after hours. I mean, if you're trying to find some support now, these are weekly candles. Okay, this isn't a small time frame chart. But it does look like right where it's kind of trading at right now in after hours, that could be some support. So S1, $50. S2 kind of bottomed out around 46. So that'd probably be my S2. So, we're going to have to see if it starts retracing some of these levels back up. I guess I could go, let's see what 1 minute chart looks like. Yeah, charts, still making lower lows in after hours. It just kind of hit 49. So support. If it can reclaim that $50 level, and that's a nice mental level too, support number one for the remainder of after hours is going to be $50. It's kind of fighting with that level right now. Support number two, it's going to be $46. That was the low of one of the previous weekly candles. So S1 50, S2 $46. We can probably throw a Fibonacci on this. I mean, it is printing a couple green candles. They're kind of ugly looking, but nonetheless, let's kind of see where some of these levels are. Since it was an overall negative reaction, I'm not going to count this candle that kind of wicked up to 58. I'm just going to kind of go from where it started selling off at. Probably go, yeah, kind of around where it closed at, really. So, this thing's got to get back over. I'd probably call it, Let me just adjust this just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's got to get back over 51 bucks. $51 would be 25% retrace back up. So that's probably going to be resistance number one, 51 bucks. And then probably use the golden ratio. That's right around 54. So if it gets back above 51, maybe my confidence will start increasing that this is going to retrace, because they did raise the guidance. Usually when companies raise guidance, there's a positive reaction, but this just got a negative reaction, still down 8.6% in after hours. Resistance 1, 51 bucks. Resistance 2, I'm going to put that at 54. Those levels need to be reclaimed for me to have any sort of confidence that this is going to bounce and reverse and start reclaiming these levels back up to the upside. Support levels, S1 50 bucks, S2 46. That's the levels I have for CNXC for the remainder of after hours. Let me put Nike's earnings back on the screen. And again, thank you, Chris, on YouTube for initially posting that for me. That definitely saved me some time. All right, let's go to Nike. It's getting some selling. It's getting some selling. They did pull a gross profit of 4.47 billion. Let me look at some things from Wall Street Engine. I think what investors are having trouble with Nike is, I was talking about this earlier, it's the year-over-year numbers. They took a pretty good hit on those year-over-year numbers. Even though they beat expectations for this earnings, for Q2, the year-over-year numbers are terrible. Investors are just having a tough time grasping that. But again, we'll just go over the year-over-year numbers real quick. The revenue, again, they did beat the revenue forecast, but it's down 12% year-over-year. It's down. In the EPS, yes, they beat the EPS forecast for this earnings, but EPS is down 86% year-over-year. That's I just can tell investors are having a tough time swallowing that pill. That's why it's not catching a bid right now. Net income came in at 211 million. The estimate for their net income was 185 million. So they beat the net income pretty good. Pre-tax profit 318 million. The forecast for that was 233 million. So they did beat that line item as well. Some of the segment breakdowns for Nike. Nike brand revenue came in at 10.8 billion. That's down 11% year over year. Nike direct revenue came in at 4.4 billion. That's down 14% year over year. Nike brand digital, take a wild guess. It's down 26% year over year. So they got some issues with the year over year numbers. I think investors are kind of struggling with that right now. Let's look at a couple other things real quick, and then I'll show everyone how to get to the earnings web call with the CEO, because that's probably going to start around 5 p.m. Eastern, I would think. Now, just a quick thing, the dividends, they paid out 2.3 billion in dividends. That is up 6% year over year, so that's good. They do have a $3 billion share buyback, which they did repurchase. 37.6 million shares have already been repurchased. Now that's fiscal year 2025 shareholder return was 5.3 billion. So that's what those numbers comprised of. Q4 shareholder return, 0.8 billion, dividends of 591 million. That's up also 6% year over year. And buybacks of 202 million, which $202 million, which equated to 3.2 million shares. And let me make sure I didn't miss any comments from the CEO. We already went over that. Strategic updates was the Nike Sports Offense strategy to focus on key sports categories, storytelling, product completeness, and consumer connection. So that's what the Sport Offense strategy is all about. And continued commitment to returning value to shareholders with consistent dividend growth and buybacks under the $18 billion authorization share repurchase program. So I just wanted to go over that data there. Again, it's basically flat. It hasn't really picked a direction yet. It is down a little bit down 1%, but they did have a 2.8% green day in regular session. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not really doing bad. But it's not really doing good either, right? So, we're just going to have to wait and see what the remainder of after hours price action brings us. Then, of course, we get the pre-market price action, and then maybe we'll have a better idea what this thing's going to do tomorrow. But there's definitely not a clear direction with Nike right now. Wish I had some better info for everyone, but it's flat. It's not doing nothing. CNXC trying to bottom out at 49. Again, the price action's a bit sloppy and spotty. It's just kind of trading on low volume. So we'll see if 49 is the bottom. If 49 can't hold, I'd be looking at 46 bucks a share as my next support. But again, resistance 1, it looks like it's trying to make a run to 51 bucks. That's the 25% retrace. So resistance 1, 51 bucks a share. R2, right around the golden ratio, around 54 a share. So that's my levels on CNXC. Back to Nike. Let's see. Let's get the link for their earnings web call, because maybe investors are waiting for the earnings web call to see what the CEO and CFO have to say, and maybe we end up getting a move then. So let me get the link for the Nike earnings call, and I'm just going to go to their investor relations page, and then I'll get the link for everyone there. So let me pull this over. This is their investor relations page. Okay, investors.nike.com. That's how you get there. And let me just scroll down a little bit. And actually, what I want to do is let's go to news, events, and reports. Okay, we got investor news right here. And you can see right here the first entry, June 26, 2025. If you want to see their fiscal 2025 fourth quarter results and full year results, just click on that. That'll get you the info that we were just going over. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit more to events and presentations, and boom, you can see it right here. June 26th, which is today, and this is the actual earnings call. So you're just going to click on that, and you can see right here, it's at 5 p.m. Eastern. So about another 20 more minutes, and then you'll be able to join the earnings call, the earnings web call with Nike. I'm going to back up this page a little bit just to get a cleaner link that everyone can screenshot. And then this is what's going to take you to the earnings web call in 20 minutes, because I believe most people are here for Nike. So let me put Nike's earnings web call link right there on the bottom of my screen. I'll leave it up for a few minutes so people have an opportunity to screenshot that. But yeah, just to kind of summarize, Nike's flat as a pancake right now. It's not doing nothing. Closed the regular session at $62.54. It's trading just under 62 bucks right now. I think investors, are undecided what's going on with this right now. There's indecision. It's not making a move. It's not going up. It's not going down. So what I think is going to happen is we may get a move when they do the earnings call in about 20 minutes. All right. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything on. Oops. Looks like someone ended my stream on Discord. Not sure what happened there, but no worries. I'll post the recording for everyone in the Discord. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today. Again, Nike's earnings, they did beat the forecast. They did have a double beat. Just struggling with those year-over-year numbers, and quarter numbers did not look good. And of course, like I say, we may see a move in about 20 minutes when they do their earnings web call with the CEO and the upper management and all that stuff. But yeah, my name's the Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I do these streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like I say, I always pick out like 2 of the more popular stocks that I think have a good following. And then, for each of the days, and then I come on here at 4 p.m. Eastern. We watch the earnings reactions live. We go over some levels on the charts, and kind of just chit chat and talk about the EPS, the revenue, and any guidance I can find and stuff like that. Any comments from the upper management and forecasts and things of that nature. So, but yeah, Swing a Bull PB Alerts. If you're looking for a new trading community, come check us out. We have a Discord. There's links in the description. You can actually join for free if you want, see how you like it, and go from there. If you do end up joining, just tag me in the chat. Again, I'm the Swinging Bull. Tag me in the chat when you get to the Discord. I'll come by and say hello. Maybe we can chat and look at your situation, and maybe there's some things I can help you with. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and I'll definitely see everyone in the very next stream. Cheers, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.